Let's be honest, pretty much everything we do is online now. Our bank accounts, our work, our social lives, it's all digital. And while that's super convenient, it also comes with some serious risks. So, how do you actually stay safe out there? Well, that's what we're going to break down today, the absolute fundamentals of cybersecurity, giving you the tools you need to protect your digital world.
And that's the big question, isn't it? It's so easy to think, oh, that'll never happen to me. But the truth is, cyber criminals are working around the clock, coming up with new ways to get a hold of our data. So let's get real about what we're up against, and more importantly, what we can do about it.
I want you to meet Anne. She's having a totally normal day. She's busy, maybe a little distracted, and then an email pops up. It looks like it's from her bank, and it sounds urgent. Security breach. Log in immediately to protect your account. So she clicks, she puts in her details, and just like that, it's over. Her most valuable digital assets, all of her sensitive personal information, are now in the hands of a criminal.
What happened to Anne wasn't just some random bit of bad luck. Nope. It was a very specific, targeted attack. And these attacks use psychology just as much as they use technology. If we want to avoid what happened to her, we have to understand the weapons that hackers are using every single day. This is what's known as phishing. It's the classic digital con game that got Anne. Basically, attackers pretend to be someone you trust, your bank, a company like Amazon, maybe even your boss, all to trick you into giving up your most sensitive data. We're talking passwords, or what's officially called Personally Identifiable Information, or PII. The whole trick is surprisingly simple, but man, is it effective. These phishing emails are designed to make you panic. They'll say something like, your account has been locked, or we've detected suspicious activity, to get you to act fast without thinking. And the goal is always one of two things: either get you to enter your login info on a fake website, or trick you into downloading some nasty software. And that brings us right to malware. Malware is just short for malicious software, and it's often what's hiding inside those phishing links. You can think of it like a digital infection for your computer. You've got viruses that spread from one file to another, Trojans that sneak in disguised as something legit, and even spyware that just sits there quietly watching everything you do, stealing your info. But you know, it's not just about tricking individual people. Hackers can also take aim at huge organizations with something called a DDoS attack. That stands for Distributed Denial of Service. The easiest way to picture it? Imagine 1,000 cars all trying to squeeze into a single parking spot at the exact same time. It's chaos. The server gets so overwhelmed with traffic that it just crashes, knocking websites offline for everybody. So you might be wondering, how does one hacker create that much chaos? Well, they use what's called a botnet. It's basically an army of infected computers, sometimes called zombies, that the hacker can control from anywhere. And when the hacker gives the command, that whole army of computers unleashes an absolute tidal wave of traffic at the target. Okay, I know. All of this sounds pretty intimidating, but here's the good news. We are not defenseless, not even close. There are some really powerful and, honestly, pretty straightforward tools we can all use to build up our own digital fortress and keep the bad guys out. And your very first line of defense, the most fundamental thing you need, is a virtual wall. Think of it like a gatekeeper that stands between your computer and the chaos of the open internet. It's its job to decide what gets in and what has to stay out. This wall is called a firewall, and it acts just like a bouncer at a club for your network. It checks every single piece of data trying to come in or go out. If something looks suspicious or it's not on the guest list, the firewall just blocks it. It's a simple concept, but it's an incredibly powerful way to keep threats away. Okay, now this is really clever. Instead of just building higher walls, security pros also set traps. It's called a honeypot, and it's a decoy computer system that's designed to look like a really tempting target for hackers. So while the attackers are busy trying to break into this fake system, the good guys are on the other side watching their every move, studying their methods, and learning how to better protect the real systems. It's like a digital sting operation. You know, when we hear the word hacker, we usually picture the villain in a movie. But the reality is actually a lot more interesting than that. In fact, some of the most important people fighting for our digital safety are, believe it or not, hackers themselves. Right? That's the common stereotype. The person in a dark room, furiously typing, trying to break into somewhere they shouldn't be. But in the world of cybersecurity, the word hacker isn't automatically a bad thing. It really all comes down to their motivation and whether or not they have permission.
And this is where we get the classic terms black hat and white hat, like in the old Westerns. Black hat hackers are the criminals. They're breaking into systems illegally with malicious intent, usually to make money. But white hat hackers, they're the heroes. They get hired by companies to legally and ethically hack into their own systems to find the security holes before the bad guys do.
So these ethical hackers, they're using the exact same skills and tools as the criminals, but they're using them for good. They have to think like a black hat in order to spot the weaknesses. Essentially, they break things on purpose so that you can learn how to build them stronger. All right, so we've talked about the threats, we've looked at the defenses, and we've met the players. Now it's time to bring it all back home. Let's talk about your personal security playbook, the simple, actionable things you can start doing right now to protect yourself online. Because here's the thing, no matter how fancy the technology gets, the single most important part of cybersecurity is you. It's true. Your awareness and your habits are your most powerful weapons in this fight to protect your own data. And it all starts with your passwords. A weak password is like leaving your front door wide open. A strong one is like a bank vault. Hackers have programs that can guess billions of password combinations a second. So the longer and more complex you make yours, the harder it is for them to crack. We're talking about the difference between it taking seconds and it taking centuries. It's a huge deal. And beyond strong passwords, there are a few other key habits to get into. Always keep your software updated. Those updates often have critical security fixes. Be super skeptical of any unexpected emails. Just remember what happened to Anne. And of course, make sure you're using security tools like a good antivirus program and a firewall. Think of them as your personal digital security team, working for you 24/7. So what's the big takeaway here? Cybersecurity isn't some product you can just buy and forget about. It's a practice. It's an ongoing combination of using the right tools and having the right mindset, all working together to keep your digital life safe from people who want to cause harm. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What is the one thing you're going to change today to make yourself safer online? It doesn't have to be some huge, complicated thing. Just making one password stronger, doing a software update you've been putting off, or just pausing for a second before you click a link. Every single small step makes you a harder target. So start today. Your digital self will thank you for it.